Let me just tweet it out so everybody join in here. 1 second, please. Da 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 da. I'm loving it. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. And woo, what a day today. Big drop in the market, right? So, guys, we've been calling it pretty much spot on here. Well, really for the last couple months, right? But this last Elliott wave count that we had has just been really, really epic. And of course, the wave we've been discussing these, what we discussed about last night, really great move and on the market off of that inside day down, and pretty cool stuff. So we'll take a look at that in a little bit here. But today we're going to kind of finish up the week here. Instead of talking about SPX, we're going to say which way we're going to talk about which way will we go. And tonight we're going to talk about Tesla. So pretty cool stuff there. Before we get started, though, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. So again, like I said, everything's for educational purposes only, not investment advice. So guys, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to take a look and see where we left off the market here today. And then we're going to take a look at the futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening. And then we'll go through the topic, and then we'll take questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, guys. So SPX, guys, down 51 points here today. So not really that much, right? We see a lot of 50-point days recently, right? On when the volatility is high. So it wasn't like a 120-point down day or something. It wasn't a major rout. But it is interesting how they decided to finish the month, right? So this is this monthly candle here concludes the month of September and the quarter, right? So what we're seeing here is a bearish engulfing month, right? Now, as we head into next month, we need to see what kind of follow through we get to the downside, right? Remember, the Corona crash started with a red month. Now, it's kind of a small little month right here. It kind of worked its way up and then pushed its way down for a big push down, right? And then you look at a couple of the other engulfing months right here. This one actually kind of pushed down a little bit and then whoops, just kind of reversed its way up and kind of continued to work its way up, right? So anything could happen, right? But it is a bearish engulfing. Is pretty interesting. There's a 60-something% chance probability of follow through the downside. So we'll see what happens there going into the month of October. So pretty cool stuff there. Other than that, guys, weekly chart, one more day left in the week. Big week last week, that big hammer, big bounce on the mid-Bollinger Band. And this week, we're pushing down towards the lows right here, but still an inside week, so we'll have to see how they end up finishing it tomorrow. It's pretty cool stuff. Again, quarterly expirations today, so that was interesting. That got a bunch of that gamma off the board here today. And tomorrow we got weekly expiration, which we'll see what they have in store for that. But nice inside day down, guys, and this is really what was the epic move, right, kind of going into today, right, is this, right? We talked about this last night. So what do we got going on here? Some sort of A, B, C, we start in the wave 5, and then we gapped up this morning. And so I told our group this morning, I was like, once this thing is gapping up, I was like, we need to see if it takes out these highs, right? Because we want to know if it's going to be a triangle. If it kind of overshoots it, it kind of takes out the whole triangle theory. I mean, it could be an expanding triangle, stuff like that, but that just gets boring, right? We like nice, clean, by the book stuff, right? And so, but it was looking like, anytime you get a gap up like that, you got to look just like, when you're in an uptrend, right? You look for those red opens and you just buy the dip going into the open. Well, on these ones, you look for green opens and you look to short the rip going into the open. It's exactly what we got here today for a great short opportunity here, and then a beautiful down move here, into the close. So for a nice finish. So really, really cool stuff there. Let's stay with the futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening. So the big thing that we're kind of looking out for to see is if CNBC does their markets in turmoil. If we get markets in turmoil tonight, watch out. This market could really rally, right? So that was the big indicator, of course, during the Corona crash. Anytime markets in turmoil, it's like we were up the next day. So anyway, pretty interesting stuff, right? Our signal zones ended up playing out really well today, right? We paused at this signal zone right here. We bounced off of this signal zone right here. We paused at this one again. Once we lost that signal zone, right down to the bottom of this signal zone, just kind of chopping in it right now. We are up 8 points today, but keep in mind it's relative to like a 50-point day, right? So just kind of keep an eye on it, see how it goes here. We're kind of channeling here going into this evening. It could be a bear flag going into this evening. So let's see how the European market opens. Let's see what they have in store. Let's see what we get tomorrow and what we have on the radar then. So there's really not a lot of, we had, jobless claims today were, I believe, worse than expected. You had Jay Powell and Yellen talking today. So all that stuff just added nice fuel to the fire this morning. Just really, really great stuff. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on it and see how it handles this channel going into tomorrow. So good stuff. All right. So we've been having fun with SPX, and like I said, there's a possibility if it breaks down tomorrow. We'll just have to see how we open up tomorrow. But today, guys, we're going to be talking about which way will we go, and today we're going to be talking about Tesla. So Tesla, guys, has been interesting, right? Despite the big drop in the market, we've been seeing a lot of names kind of hold up pretty well, right? Names like AMD, right? Basically finished green today, right? So a couple of the, kind of these semiconductor names, like, were pretty decent. AMD with a green candle day, albeit an upper shadow, right? We had a green day today. It's still below its little geometric line right here, but a couple names like that kind of interesting. But then we had Tesla, and Tesla, it didn't break down with the rest of the market, right? Just kind of held up there. And so what did it give us here today? Well, I think it gave us an opportunity going into tomorrow, right? So we love these double inside days. If you guys remember how we started out this week, we talked about the double inside day on SPX, right? And then we also referenced that time the inside day on AMD. But you can see here we got a really tight range. That's kind of the big difference here between SPX and Tesla, is it was a narrow range, right? Kind of inside day. It got really, really tight, right? So there's that contraction to expansion type move. But either way, no matter how you slice and dice it, a double inside day still is contraction, right? So that puts us in kind of this big triangle range, right? So so at this point here, we really need to see what Tesla is up to and if it's going to give us a Friday move tomorrow, right? So there's a lot of upper shadows off of this one. If we break down below, we lose the ADMA, it might start to catch up to the rest of the market, especially if the market stays weak tomorrow, or we might get a breakout on this one and kind of start to get going. So we really just need to keep an eye on these levels, especially this today's high and low, and see which way we end up going. I mean, we had a little bit of a weak day today, right? We ended up closing at the lows, got right to our gamma flip level at the end of the day. So now we're going to check these double inside day levels going into tomorrow and see if they give us a breakout and then a breakout through the prior inside day move, right? Other than that, we may still stay choppy and still kind of go sideways here going into next week, and then maybe next week we start to break out, maybe even get a little bit of an earnings run heading into the following weeks going that way. So very, very interesting stuff. So that's definitely going to be on the radar tomorrow. So good stuff, guys. Wow. Really appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening. Again, it's been a fun week this week. We've been talking about SPX. We've pretty much been calling it like champions, so good job there. But really appreciate everybody for tuning in and appreciate your ideas. So let's take a look and see what you got here tonight with chart requests. So bullish and bearish trades, really appreciate you jumping in here early. So let's say you got Google on the radar. Yeah, so Google with an increased volume breakdown here the other day, nice gap down and just kind of getting that follow through right here, upper shadow here too. This reminds me a lot of Facebook, which looks like it's kind of gearing up to drop here too. So again, it's all about tomorrow's move, right? It's a new quarter, new month, right? So we might get some fresh money flows in, and now we just have to see if the institutions want to roll it into it, or if they want to kind of roll it out and put it into like maybe alternative investments like gold, bonds, things like that. And if they roll it out, they start rolling out, Google might make a nice little down move. Dash got really, really tight too inside day, and then gave us a doji day today. I think this is one that could be a big mover tomorrow too, so that's definitely one to keep an eye on. Docu also really tight right here too. This one's looking a little bit more bear flaggish, right? You kind of have this right here, right? Little bear flag. Type move. So just kind of see if it breaks down. If it does, you might see the 200-day moving average on that one. And then PLTR, this one had a big breakdown the other day on PLTR, if my fingers can type it right. Big breakdown the other day, 50-day moving average, right? And then we lost these lows here today, and boom, right to the cloud right here. So let's see if it holds the cloud. It's got an interesting area right here as support. If it does, right, maybe it'll try to work its way back up. So we'll see how we go there. Good, great stuff. Really appreciate it. And you got the Qs, of course, on the radar. Qs very similar to looking at Google, and then the UVXY. Again, starting to get a little bit green right here, but might get a little bit of a spike. We'll see where we go from there. Good stuff. Awesome, guys. And then Shirley sent a few via email. Shirley, you're doing great out there. Looks like you got a retail names on the radar today. By the way, the XRT is one way to kind of encapsulate it. It had a really weak candle today. Another one that had a weak candle today was the home builders. So the retail, oh, sorry, I just had Home Depot on there. HB. The XHB, another nice breakdown here today, too. Big inside breakdown with looks like it really wants that 200-day moving average, that type of volume here today. So definitely something to keep an eye on right here. But yeah, so your retail names are all pretty weak, right? Generally, because the sector is weak. So big gap down here at J2M, but kind of at some support. So a little bit of caution there if you're looking to short. GPS, I like the breakdown there below that pivot level. See if it works it down, and maybe continues to work its way down into ex-dividend. Foot Locker, again, another nice move on there too. And then similarly, one of its companions there, in terms of sporting goods and shoes, is Dick's Sporting Goods, right? Under the 50-day moving average with some nice volume on that one too. And really, guys, just a a lot of these retail names getting hit. You know, we got inflation going up right here. We got jobless claims going up, right? Consumer confidence going down, right? We had a lower than expected PMI today. So businesses are a little bit concerned, right? So we got a lot of stuff going on here. Here we got TJX is a great one with a big gap fill today. So again, really, really nice. Also kind of that sideways head and shoulders look on it here too for a nice breakdown. So again, we'll see if we get any follow through here in retail. Again, one of the weaker sectors today for sure. So Robbie, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. You got SE on the radar. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's green day today, but still under the ADMA with an upper shadow, right? So, but it's holding the 50 day. So let's see if we can kind of get constructive and going, especially if things are strong. Archibald, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks so much for tuning in. You got AMD on the radar. Yeah, green day today on AMD, which is great. This gave us a couple opportunities intraday today. We pointed out at the open. We also pointed out in the public Twitter and in the group this bull flag breakout, which gave a little bit of a move here and ended up turning into a signal zone going into tomorrow. But let's see if we can get over this geometric line and get out of the cloud and get over the 50-day moving average and kind of get going again. Otherwise, you know, if we start to see some lower volume or some chop or some increased volume to the downside, AMD might actually start to work its way down to these lower levels. So just a FYI on that one. And Nvidia is another one I'm kind of pretty bearish on too. A little bit of an upper shadow there off the 50-day moving average. Again, if you know, if the semis start really breaking down, watch out for Nvidia is my number one go-to, but AMD is also pretty weak too. So just a little bit of caution off of those. But good stuff there. Otas, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. You got the Qs. Yeah, so again, not as weak, right? We had a pretty weak move right here, but not a big candle. But definitely some volume right here and definitely red, right? So again, we definitely want to keep an eye on them and see how they go going into tomorrow. And already we're pulling back a little bit here on the futures here on the NASDAQ. So pretty interesting stuff there. mRNA, let's take a look. Inside day getting tight, possibly forming a little bit of a bear flag there for you, or a bear pennant, right? So it's a little something to kind of keep an eye on there, right? So just keep an eye on it and see how it goes. So very interesting stuff there. And almost a double inside day, too. Yeah, getting very, very tight. I love it. Good stuff. Good find. Thierry, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, you got Joby on the radar. Let's take a look. So Joby with an inside day over the ADMA and under the 50-day. Upper shadow there, but getting tight. See if we can break out of that range. LAC, let's take a look. Nice candle on this one today. Okay, LAC, guys. This name moves, right? This is prone to some very, very strong intraday moves. So very, very nice find on that one. And Archibald, you also got AMC on the meme stock list. I love it. Yeah, it had a big push today. Bullish engulfing candle. You can't ignore it. Real body engulfing almost the entire prior candle, but definitely the real body of the prior candle. So let's see how it goes here. Going today in a big breakout here today, guys, with some huge volume. So let's see if they're ready to kind of get more squeeze on, but I'd really like to see it get over today's highs, right? So, and into the cloud would be nice, right? Let's try to get it going out of there. That'd be great. Great find, Archibald. Really appreciate it. And awesome. And Otas, you got Amazon on the radar too. Yeah, so Amazon, you know, like the rest of the Qs didn't break down as much as like the whole market, right? You got your names like the XLF broke down, a lot of the banks broke down, the XRT, the XHD, right? So you got, or not the XHB, right? So a lot of those names kind of moving right here, but increased volume under the 200-day moving average. So again, it's got to get back above there to get interesting again, right? So it's already kind of pulled back, you know, it's kind of make this wave count look a little bit blah. So we'll see how it goes. But again, it's almost symmetrical from the move here, right? So almost. So hold on. Let's duplicate that. Right, so there's down move right here. So, I mean, it's got room to the downside to kind of retest these levels down here if it really wanted to. So, we'll see. Let's see what kind of action we get going into the new quarter tomorrow. So, pretty cool stuff. We got TTD on the radar as well. Big inside day today, but a green day, right? So we'll see how that holds right here. It kind of held some support. So, let's see if we do that. Otherwise, watch out if it takes that inside day down, right? You've got a nice little closing gap down here that it might want to test. So, some good stuff there. And Zach, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. You got UNH on the radar. Let's take a look. UNH, yeah, nasty engulfing candle on that one today. Guys, you guys pointed this out the other day off this geometric line, this candle right here. A little bit of a low volume green day yesterday, and then have a nice day today, right, for the flush. I love it. So again, a little bit of support right here. If it doesn't want any more downside, then you get the 200-day moving average below that. So we'll see how that goes. And Mike, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning back in here. You got Apple on the radar? Oh, I got you. You're coming back in. So Apple took a nap and then back. So I love it. So yeah, Apple breaking down below the inside day right here. Did I miss it? Did I miss you this morning? Did I skip over you? Or I can't remember. Anyway, I appreciate it. So yeah, so Apple again under the inside day right there. Sometimes YouTube skips around the chat window, but yeah, so we're kind of sitting right here, just like the market itself. The market is sitting right at the prior support level right here. But any more downside, any more weakness, we have a weekday on Friday. Watch out for Apple. And then Amazon, let's take a look at Amazonius. Again, same thing right here, guys. Potential symmetrical move down all the way back to this level right here. Right here's your A, B, C type move, or you know some sort of leading diagonal type move right here, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right, so that's another one to look at as well. But good stuff, guys. Awesome chart request tonight. Really love it. Yeah. So anyway, guys, really appreciate it. This has been an awesome week this week. We talked about we had fun this week, being right on top of the SPX and this move. Right. Last week we talked about being in a downtrend, and yeah, Mitchell, yeah, Tsla, exactly. We covered that here today. That was the whole profile name here today. But a lot of fun today, a lot of great stuff, and really appreciate everybody for being here. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. We'll see you guys here on YouTube bright and early tomorrow morning for the Good Morning Market Prep video. And until then, guys, stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you stay in the game.